Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like, they should
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday, May 10th. We got a big show for you today. It's Loosey Goosey Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. We're here at Indigo, our new partnership, our new home.
What? You're gonna say Indigo Apartments. It took me.
No, I was gonna say Indigo Papers,
yeah,
but
Indigo Place.
Yeah, we're at the Indigo Place. We're at our new partners, our new home, Indigo. Great people, great products. Great place to be, great vibes, great energy, all the things that we want to our show to exude, they exuded here. If you're interested in the CBD game or the Delta 8, Delta 9 game, go check these guys out, indigopapers.com. They got everything that you need. They have a variety of different products, seltzers, which are super popular. Lloyd?
Yes,
you like those. You like those, don't you? Now
Got
be careful. Read the fine print.
Took down a 30 milli last night.
Yeah. Read the fine print. They got 8 milligrams. Look, see, he probably had one before the show.
Yeah, last night.
8 milligrams, 30 milligrams, 100 milligrams. Now,
the 100 I've not dared to venture
I
into.
recommend staying at the 8 and seeing what goes. But they're very tasty. They got a whole bunch of flavors. They obviously also have the Delta 8, Delta 9 gummies. They have CBD oils. They have all the things that you would need. Go check them out, indigopapers.com. These are our new home, or our new studio is housed, and we are very happy to be here, and we're very thankful for them giving us a space in their building. So going through the Heineken headlines, we got a big show for you today. as we've grown accustomed to throughout the course of the baseball season, on these feel-good Loosey-Goosey Fridays, we are going to preview a lot of the LSU weekend, right? LSU goes on the road at Alabama. Big series for them. Alabama is the 13th rated RPI team in the country. RPI is very crucial, especially here at the end of the season. LSU is 34 in the RPI right now. So it's a big weekend for them. Obviously, if they win the next 2 series, I believe that they are in. On3 has them as the last 4 in their latest predictions. In their latest predictions of the NCAA tournament. D1 Baseball and Baseball America have them as the last 4 out. In the regional that On3 has LSU projected to go in as of now, they are a 3 seed in the UNC regional in Chapel Hill. The 2 seed is University of Louisiana Lafayette. So that's kind of interesting. A lot can happen over the next couple weeks. The next 3 weeks, obviously, you have 2 weekends left of the SEC regular season, then the SEC tournament. A lot of shifting and a lot of moving, I would imagine, is about to happen. We're going to preview the weekend, talk about what we need to see, what the struggles are going to be or the issues are going to be with LSU in this weekend, and where we see the avenue of them winning. My co-host, Jared Mitchell, is not in studio with us today, but he is live via the metaverse, via the internet, via the hotel room in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Standing at 5'11".
Standing at 6 foot tall, 210 pounds of pure solid muscle.
Sex.
2-time national champion, and 1 time in football, 1 time in baseball. Hey, put your hardest college picture out there. That was great for you. You got 2 of them.
You like that?
I joined in.
Like that?
I joined in and threw 1.
I see you.
I didn't have a lot of, I didn't really have a lot on my phone to go from, but I think they were pretty good.
I'm in the same boat. I don't have that many on my, actually on my phone. I don't really,
and at this point, we're so old that if we Googled it, I think those pictures are way deep in the archives.
There's a whole lot of mic'd up.
Yeah. They're deep in the archives there, but glad you're on the show. Glad we're here on the Loosey Goosey Friday on this beautiful Friday. It's beautiful here. I don't know what it's like over there in Charlotte.
Hey, I can't buy a nice flight into this damn city yet, bro. Everything is bumpy as shit.
Damn.
Apparently, the day before I came, there was a huge hailstorm here, so it was still all that was still kind of floating in the area when I came, and it was literally like I was on a roller coaster for about an hour on the way in. So don't love that.
Keep doing cool stuff. Keep doing cool stuff. Maybe we get a private jet or something.
Yeah.
We start doing that. You have it mic'd up on the side of it. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can put Lloyd in own seat on the wing, actually outside of the wing.
Did you see the video that was going around on the internet of the lady that tucked herself away in the where the bags go on the stove and stuff? She was tucked up in there.
I did not.
She was laying there as people were coming on the flight. I think that's probably where Lloyd needs to be.
I'll wiggle my way out.
Wow. No, I didn't see that one.
Just sneak in there in the cargo. Lloyd needs to be in the bottom with all the animals that you travel with. It's free flight.
In a nice little cage down there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Found me somebody to put me in their purse. I'm a safety animal.
Yes, emotional support pet.
Emotional support pet. That's what I am for the show.
Well, I guess it has to be emotional support dogs now. I think they clarified that.
I'm a dog.
People were putting alligators and shit on the fucking planes and stuff.
Cockatoo.
Pigs and.
Someone say, our boy already did that when he flew Lloyd on the private flight. Just saying.
Potentially, the guy that you're talking about could potentially be the new golf coach here at LSU.
Hey, here we go. He's
a finalist for that job. The one they call John Peterson.
There you go.
Look, I would love to see that happen. He's our friend. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully, and look, he's got the flight. He's got the plane. You go back and forth. Lloyd will be pumped.
Well, you don't even have to hire a pilot. He can fly the plane for wherever the golf.
Nah, see, Lloyd, now you're taking out of his negotiating probabilities here.
Well, I don't
do that to him.
I don't think that the golf team flies private.
They do.
But maybe the golf coach does if he puts it in his contract.
They fly private.
Yeah.
How do you know?
I've seen pictures.
Because most teams don't fly private.
They go to like the tournaments. They're like, they put the 5 starters on there and the coach, and they say we're off to Savannah.
Okay. There you go.
Got to keep up with the elite in golf. You can't be showing up in a bus.
That's a good point. All right, let's get to the baseball conversation, Jay. LSU's got a big weekend this weekend. They finished last weekend ranked 30th in the RPI. Then they play a midweek game against Northwestern State, who doesn't have a very high RPI. Luckily for LSU, they were able to come through. Fortunate, I don't say lucky. Fortunate for LSU, they're able to come through with a win, right? But that still dropped their RPI a few points down to 34 because of the opponent that they played. They have an opportunity to make up some ground in the RPI rankings this weekend against Alabama on the road against the top 15 RPI team in the country. Alabama's ranked 13th in the country. Alabama's fighting for some postseason positioning. LSU's fighting for their postseason lives. What do you expect to see over the weekend? And what's LSU's avenue to win the series?
First off, I expect to see a super spirited team, a team that's ready to play. They're rolling. They feel good. They're playing better. They're making the clutch plays. The things are happening in their favor, if you will, right now. Dropping down to 34. I think if you take care of the 6 games left on the actual remaining schedule, you got a chance to put yourself in a top 25 in the RPI situation, which is where you want to be going into the SEC tournament, because then you put yourself in a spot where it's like, hey, we don't have to come out here and put up a semifinals appearance, maybe a finals appearance to make sure we're safe to get into the tournament. Now, obviously, 6 games left, and whatever you can do in the SEC tournament, if you take care of those 6, whatever you can do going forward, the better you are, the better situation you put yourself into, where you're not maybe a 3 seed, to maybe where you're a high 2 seed, to maybe just in a better spot, right? So I expect them to go out there understanding like, hey, we've won. We beat the number 1 team in the country in a series. We won a game on Tuesday night. We basically had no business winning when it was 24 outs, 25 outs had been got, or 24 outs had been gotten in the game, maybe. At that point, you were not supposed to win that game. You find a way to pull that game out. You won the 2 series before that. Things are starting to move correctly. And if you keep riding that wave, you have to ride that wave into this weekend, because this is a very, very, very desperate Alabama team. They're pretty much in the same situation as you. So you got to go stomp on their neck, and you got to do it from day one. You need to start there. You start there, I think you can really put a fork in what they're trying to do. You can really kind of put them away. But I expect to see them come out and be really just engaged in what they're doing and ready to go.
Yep, I agree. I think, look, you have 3 games against a team that's ranked 13th in the RPI. Then you go the next weekend against Ole Miss, and they're ranked I think 25th right now in RPI. So you have an opportunity to have some quality wins. To end the season, and I think you're going to put them in a really good. It's going to put LSU in a really good spot to continue this late season push to, obviously not only making the postseason but seeding, right? Like that's a big thing. Everybody talks about 2 and 3, like they're interchangeable in the regional. Yeah, it's true in the regional, but you also want to be a higher ranked 2 seed that's going to put you in a more favorable, well, supposed to be more favorable regional, right? And look. I'm not saying they are going to win 6 games, but if they sweep both series, right? Now, this weekend you win the series. If you somehow are able to finagle a sweep this weekend, I think a sweep next weekend looks a little bit more promising. But let's just say hypothetically you win these 6 games, you put yourself in a position going into the SEC tournament. If you make a little bit of a run in there and you win a few games, you put yourself in a situation where, hey, we're 15-15 in conference. We're ranked in the top 6 in our conference. We may have a chance to get an outside last-minute backdoor hosting. I don't think that's at top of the priority list right now for LSU. I think the top of the priority list right now is to win the series this weekend, put yourself in a position going into the last weekend of the season. If Jake would have told these guys, hey, I'm going to put you in a position where the last weekend of the season, if you win the series, you have the opportunity to do everything that you set all the goals that you had set before the season. You have every opportunity to accomplish those. All you have to do is win the last weekend of the year. I think they'd all take that opportunity, and so that's the reality of it. But they aren't going to Alabama and playing some team that's not great. Alabama and On Three's projections right now are projected as a 2 seed, right? Couple notes about Bama. Their lineup can swing it, right? They are a very potent lineup. They are number 3 in the SEC with a team batting average of .308. Their pitching staff, although they may have some guys in the starting rotation that have good stuff, their numbers haven't been great through the course of the year. Alabama is ranked number 10th in the league with a 5.58 staff ERA. Okay? So what that tells me, it's very similar to last weekend at home. LSU is playing A&M, who's a very potent offense. I think A&M's pitching staff, actually I know, A&M's pitching staff is better than Alabama's, at least statistic-wise, and I think talent-wise probably too. But you had to go in there and you had to play a good baseball. You had to pitch the ball well. You can't walk guys. And you have to force these guys to score runs the hard way and not by giving them extra base runners and allowing them to drive guys in with scoring position. And then offensively, you need to score enough. I think this weekend, the same recipe, right? Starting pitching, go out there, don't walk a bunch of guys, work ahead of counts. Same thing they've been doing the last few weeks. And offense needs to continue to keep rolling. They continue to drive guys in. You saw them kind of break through that barrier last week with runners in scoring position. I would like to see that get notched to to another level. I was looking at our numbers, dude, and like Tommy White, right? He's got 12 home runs in conference, which is great. He's hitting .320 on the year, which isn't bad. But for his standards, he'd probably tell you, oh, I need to be hitting higher than that. And it hasn't – to me, it's been a loud .320. He's got a lot of balls that he's hit hard at guys in the outfield. We haven't seen Tommy really take off yet. Like, we haven't seen him get, like, super, super hot, super locked in. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him this weekend kind of take the reins in that and say, okay, hey, watch this. I'm going to drive in like 10 guys over the weekend.
Hey, Mikey loves going with the Stars to have the 4 home or 12.
Well, I haven't been picking Tommy lately.
He loves this. He loves this.
I haven't been picking Tommy lately. I've been picking Larson and all these other guys.
I know, but you love to go for these kind of picks. I just don't listen. He's hitting .320 for a reason, and it's because they haven't had that kind of support around them the entire weekend.
That's my point, though, because the last couple weeks they've had that.
Yeah, but if I'm going into the weekend, I'm still going to live on or die on the hill if I'm scouting LSU and I'm playing LSU is guess who can't beat me? Tommy White can't beat me. Jared Jones can't beat me. Hayden Travinsky can't beat me. So I'm not saying that they can't have good weekends. I'm not saying they can't have great weekends. I think the key to this weekend is, though, you still need to have the Milam show up. You still need to have the Pearson show up. Those are the guys that have to play above, I guess, the means.
That's who you drive in.
Because if they play above the means, they give these other guys the opportunity. So for me, offensively, those are the guys I got tabbed as like the guys I need you to continue to show up. Because if you continue to show up, you're going to continue to give us a chance. On the other side of it, pitching it, those guys we talked about out of the bullpen, like, yeah, of course, I just see this kind of being a tight ball games, right? And I think you're going to get good performances out of starting pitching, but I need to see Christian Little come again. I need to see Griffin Herring continue to do what he's been doing. I need to see guys like Nate Ackenhausen show up and do his thing. Gavin Guidry do his thing. If you get those 4, maybe a couple other arms sprinkled in that really throw well out of the pen for whatever amount of time that they're out there, I think you see a series win and a possible series sweep.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the main thing is the pitching staff, right? Gage Jump has 1 walk in 3 weeks. That has got to continue, right?
Yeah.
Luke Holman is going back to face his old team. He's got to go out there and have a really good start on Saturday, right? And then the other guys behind him have to be able to bridge that gap, whether it's Griffin Herring finishing a game, whether it's Christian Little finishing a game, whether it's Gavin Guidry coming in on Sunday, whoever it is coming in throwing the rock, they have got to be able to continue the success that the pitching staff has had over the last few weeks. And to your point, like, yeah, those other guys have to get on base. Like, they have to score, they have to get on, they have to have good at bats, similar to what they've had the last couple of weeks. And set the big guys up because regardless of hey, I don't want this guy to beat me or I don't want that guy to beat me. They're in the middle of the lineup. If those guys are getting on base, they have no choice but to pitch to them, right?
Okay,
and so,
but yeah, that's my point to that. Is like, hey, to have this 10 RBI weekend, it's not going to be 10 solos or it's not going to be 5 2-run
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Those other guys got to do it too. They have to do it.
That's exactly what I'm saying, right? And like Tommy and Bear Jones both had opportunities last weekend to drive a bunch of guys in, right? It was the other guys that were able to come up with the big hits to drive those guys in. Pearson with the bases loaded, double down left field line. So I think those opportunities are happening more often than they had at the beginning of the season, and it's a matter of those guys taking the opportunity, right? Hey, here's the opportunity to drive guys in and doing it and not doing it. Because, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if I could get the numbers and say, okay, this is how many opportunities these guys have with runners in scoring position, I bet you I could look at it and show them and say, yeah, I've got to drive in, 6 guys in that if I get that opportunity again, right? So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen because the other guys around them have been playing better. Larson, in SEC play, what do you think his average is?
360.
365. He's leading the team in SEC. Now, obviously, he doesn't have as many at-bats, but he's got 63 at-bats. The only person in the lineup in SEC play that has over 100 is Tommy, right? So, he's got a pretty good sample size. He's hitting 365 in conference. Braswell's number 2, hitting 311, right? And then it's Jared Jones with a big drop-off at 278, Travinsky at 274, and Tommy at 272, right? Now, I say that because Braswell has been at the bottom of the lineup, and Larson, at least last SEC weekend, has been at the top of the lineup, right? Usually hitting in front of the big boppers. So if both of those guys consistently get on like they have been, right, it puts gives LSU an opportunity for them to drive in runs. And now it's a matter of them doing it or not doing it. Lloyd, what do you like? What do you want to see? You were throwing up stats and you were telling me all kinds of stuff before the show. What do you think?
Well, that's what I was. I thought, like what Jared said was pretty interesting because of where you need to pick up other guys, whether it be from like where you need them in the pitching rotation, and obviously the lineup picking other people up. But we were looking at score by innings for the entire year, and LSU leads every category up to the fourth, where they're the dominant run score from 43 to 22 in the first. They score 48 to 14 in the second, 62 runs to 25 in the third, 58 to 26 in the fourth. And here comes the bugaboo that I think Griffin Herring has kind of been the Band-Aid they put over it. In the fifth inning, LSU is outscored by their opponent 60 to 49. And then, again, their other bugaboo, in the eighth, 30 to 22. And in the ninth, 19 to 13. I feel like that's where the changes happened. In that big fifth inning where LSU was either having a lead and then giving up a lead or tied and couldn't get runners on, I think that's where you found a spot of either it's Gage Jump going longer, Luke Holman going longer, or having Griffin Herring or Nate Ackenhausen out of the pen. So I feel like that is a stat to look for in terms of what maybe Jay is kind of thinking of when, all right, this is when I should go get him because this has been the inning where we either can't continue to extend with our starter or it's been a big inning that we just haven't been able to nullify the other team. So let's put it in let's reset after 4. That's just what I'm looking at because I think that was the most interesting thing that I found was I didn't know that the run differential was that big.
And look, the crazy thing about that is the run differential is that big. That's the biggest run differential, like the deficit for LSU. That's coming after the inning on the fourth inning, which is LSU's highest deficit on the other side, right? Highest advantage. So that means you're scoring a bunch of runs in the fourth and then not being able to finish out that first 5, and you're giving up those runs. You're giving up those runs back on the fifth, and that's not a recipe for success.
Right. Yeah, I think, Gage Jump, I think the leash is going to be longer on him tonight, right? Because he's built up a little equity. He's built up a little trust with the way that he's attacked the zone. Not necessarily over just wins and losses and the strikeouts, but his ability to be very, very, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the word I'm looking for. He's been very good at being in the zone. Let's just go that way, right? He's thrown strikes. He's actually attacked the zone. His ability to do what he's done over the last 3 weeks, I think, is going to give him a little bit longer of a leash. But I do think if UTA through 5 is, I think, the spot that they're looking for, because winning the series is paramount this weekend. Getting a sweep would be just beautiful this weekend. But to get game 1 out the way is a must. Like, I think you see a game that's within 2 runs, or even as big as maybe even 5 runs through 5 if the numbers get high pitch count wise or whatever. But I think you see Griffin Herring very, very early, and you get him out there and you try to secure a win if you can get him through the back end of that game. And then if you can do that with 2 arms, then you set yourself up for, all right, if we go forward and we get those guys that I mentioned earlier coming out of the pen throwing the ball, now I got the ability to, whatever Luke does too, I can get these guys in here knowing they're going to come in and lock down game 2 for me if I get a shot to do that as well.
Yeah, I think Gage over the last 3 weeks, obviously, like you say, he's built up that equity. I think that the longevity of him being able to go deep in games, I think he's gotten past that, right? Like, hey, as long as you're throwing well, you go, right? Like, we're going to let you go. We trust you. You've earned that. 1 walk in 3 weeks. He's won 3 games in a row. 2 of the first 2 were 7 innings. I don't know what he went last week, but he's throwing really good baseball. And then I would imagine the minute he's out, if the game is still in hand, right, if LSU is still close enough, you're going to see Griffin Herring come in and finish that first one. All right, we'll figure out the second game, exactly what you had said. Now, on the flip side, Alabama, they are pitching on their Friday and Saturday guys are both left-handed pitchers, right? And we talked about this last week when LSU played A&M. Their first 2 starters were left-handed pitchers. Now, A&M's ace has ace numbers, but it wasn't like he had super overpowering stuff. Now, he is an ace because he can pitch with the stuff that he's got, right? He understands how to locate, and he's a good competitor. I mean, he's 8-0. LSU gave him his first loss. They had little help early in the game, but they came up later on in the game against him with some big hits. They're facing Greg Farone, right? Greg Farone's their ace at Alabama. He's got a 4 ERA. He has about 1 strikeout an inning, right? So he's a guy who can strike you out. He's going to go and he's going to be around the zone, only 18 walks in 55 innings. I think what LSU did last week against the high-quality left-handed starters that they faced, I think is going to help them moving forward to this weekend, because historically through the course of the year, LSU hasn't hit lefties super well, right? Like they've been very average against lefties throughout the course of the year, and last week they had their first 2 wins against lefties. So I think going into this weekend, they're going to put themselves in a position, feel better about facing these guys. You got something?
Real quick, just on Greg Farone and what he's done recently.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, look at you. Look. Hey, Jay, I asked Lloyd, hey, you think we could find some of this stuff? And look at him.
Looking it up.
Look at Dukes over there.
That's right. So in his last 7 starts, he's 2-5, and the walks are starting to creep up. He's walked somebody in 6 out of their 7 games. The ERA.
He's walked somebody, just one person?
No, at least 1.
Okay.
And so he's got, I mean, you can go through it. Mississippi State, he had 2 walks. No walks at Ole Miss. 4 against A&M, 1 against Arkansas, 5 against Kentucky, 1 against South Carolina, 2 against Georgia, 1 against Tennessee. So, like, those are his last, I believe, 7 starts. So he's 2-5. The ERA is starting to creep up.
What's the ERA in those 7?
It's been starting at Mississippi State from the bottom, 3 runs, 7 runs against Ole Miss, 4.2, and Texas A&M. Wait, are these innings?
4 and 4. That's innings.
The innings. These are
I was about to say 4. You can't give up 2.2.
That's what got me.
Yep. Can't give up 0.2.
Regardless, the earned runs are up, and hold on, let's see if I can find it. And ERs, which are all the way on the other side. So I don't like doing earned runs like this because it's 21. This last one, 0, 7, 1, 8, 5, 4. But what I'm trying to say is he's been getting hit around a little bit, and the walks are a little bit up. So you're getting a guy that isn't necessarily coming off his hottest pitching performances where he's been able to scrape 2 wins, but those have been the last 2 in his first. I mean, 2-7 in those 7, or 2-5 in those 7 starts. So not as dominant.
But I say, Farone to the naked eye, because I've seen him pitch a couple times. He's got, I would say, a tick better stuff than Prager from A&M, right? But not as much pitchability and not as much command, if you will. So he, like you said, he's gettable. You saw he gave up the 7 runs to Ole Miss. You probably can get him to be around the zone and not necessarily in the zone. So he's one of those guys. I don't think you have to be overly aggressive on. I think you have to really narrow this thing down, really get him into a cup. And if you can do that, you start to hit him around a little bit. He's obviously not super comfortable with runners on. You can get to him early. And I think if you get to him early, you're in a good spot because, like you said, this is a pitching staff that's 10th in the league. They're not a great staff. That means the more and more they have to be out there, the better your chances are of getting them, of beating them. You get them off the mound, you get into the pen, you get into the back end of that pen, you can beat them.
No doubt. No doubt, right? And I think that LSU is going in this weekend with the mindset, hey, we are the better team. We just got to go out there and pitch. Now, obviously, if the offense comes out guns blazing, they get to him early, like you're saying, and they score a bunch of runs, and Gage Jump's able to go six innings and not give up much, that puts LSU in a position now where they can maybe try to figure out, hey, maybe we don't have to waste Griffin Herring. We're up 6-0 or 7-1 or 8-2, whatever it is, right? Maybe we don't have to waste them. Now, if you bring somebody else in and Alabama ends up making it 8-4, 8-5, you're gonna see them. But if they get the starter out early and the bats are banging, they may put themselves in a position where they don't have to use Griffin. Now, I think if the game is 4 runs or less, you're seeing your boy, and he's finishing out the game, and they're not going to try to take a chance of a heartbreaking loss at Alabama.
4 runs or less. How deep into the game would you say?
How deep?
Yeah, like if they're up 4 runs or less, at what point is it 4 runs too many for Griffin to come in the game?
I think if they're up by 4 runs, in the 8th.
There you go. I'm with that one too.
Yeah, in the 8th. I was gonna say 9.
7,
I was gonna say 9, but I think the 8th.
Yeah, I think if you can get through 7, up 4, and you're swinging the bat decently well. So let's say you're not up. Let's say it's not a 4-0 ball game, and you've had 6 walks, so you really didn't swing it well, but you got 4 runs, obviously. Like if it's not that kind of situation, if it's a 4-run ball game, I think through the 7th, I think you don't see Griffin, and I think that would be the best case scenario to not have to put him in, and then you can kind of move him and have him ready to go at some point on Saturday.
Agreed. Now, hey, we're up 4 in the 8th. Griffin, you're not coming in, but stay mentally ready because the minute something happens, you're in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No. Hey, his cleats are on today. Bro.
No doubt.
They're staying on until we shake hands.
Yep.
But I would like to not have to throw you tonight.
No doubt. And if they're able to do that, that puts them in a good spot going into game 2. I don't know much about Zane Adams in game 2. He's their second best guy. I definitely know he's not a strikeout.
No. Well, they moved him recently. So the Hess guy used to be starting on Friday. Then they moved Farone into that spot. Now, because Hess has gotten hit around, but I would honestly say his stuff is probably the best on the staff, outside of maybe the closer, Dave. Right? But they moved him to Sunday. So he just hasn't pitched well with him. That's why they're a scary team, and that's why you don't know what you're going to get, because if that guy can throw on Sunday and he can throw to his ability, like the ability that he actually has, that's better than probably any Sunday starter in the league.
Yeah.
Problem is he hasn't really done it this year. Right? So Zane Adams has been the guy that I guess you could say has probably been the second most consistent out of the starters. Go there.
Right.
Yeah, but Ben Hess is probably the guy that you look at and was like, man, I really wish you would throw. I wish your actual stat numbers were what your stuff numbers look like, because you should be the guy.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Zane's got, 49 innings pitched, 35. She's not going to strike you out. He's going to be a dink-dunk. I was telling Lloyd, this is the guy that you get in the 8th inning and you look up and you're like, damn, I'm 0 for 4. And, I don't feel like I'm 0 for 4 because this guy's not super overpowering. He's not great. He may have 1 or 2 strikeouts, but a lot of rollovers, a lot of soft contact. This is that type of pitcher. Based off of me looking at his numbers, I have not seen any of him pitch, any games. I'm going based off of baseball knowledge of, hey, I'm looking at this guy's numbers. Doesn't walk a ton of guys. Doesn't have a high ERA, but he also doesn't have high strikeout numbers. Makes me feel like he makes the guy, he's right around the zone, and he nibbles a little bit out, and he forces guys to into soft contact. And he ends up going kind of deep in games. Maybe gives up 3 runs here, and you're like, damn, how did I go 0 for 4 off of that guy when he doesn't really have great shit? And, that's the type of pitcher, at least it seems like He is. I don't know. You may have more experience of watching him than I do.
That's what I got on him. I'll tell you, one thing that scares me on the weekend is I want to see what LSU's ability will be to get out Bryce Evelyn, which is their second baseman. I think he's a fourth or fifth year guy. He's a senior, but he's a really good hitter. And he's basically Alabama's version of Braswell, but I think he's a better hitter, man. And if he's able to do what he's done the whole year at the bottom of that lineup and turn it over, because the kid's hitting 300 plus, that's when that lineup's going to be tough to face and be tough to mess with, because he's been steady Eddie at the bottom. He's been a really good player for him, and if he's able to continue what he's done, that's when if you're going to give LSU fits, then that lineup is going to start giving LSU fits as well.
Yeah, and I think without it, I mean, there's no question about what Alabama's strength is, and that's their offense, right? That's their lineup, and that's, they're dangerous, 1 through 9. Everybody in that lineup's able to hurt you. And I think that's why it's so paramount for LSU pitching staff not to give in, right? Very similar to last week. Very similar to last week, right? Like, hey, you gave up 3 solo home runs in the first game, but they're solo. You didn't walk guys. You didn't put them on base. If they're going to hit a homer, make it be a solo homer, right? If they're going to hit a double, make sure nobody's on base when they hit the double. So it heightens the sense of urgency of the pitching staff to get ahead of guys, throw a bunch of strikes. I'd rather them get beat. If they get beat, I'd rather them get beat by giving up 10, 15 hits as opposed to giving up 8 hits but giving up 8 runs because you walked 5 guys. You know what I mean? And so they've done a lot better of that as of late. It's very, very important to me for them not to be able to put give anybody free passes. That also rolls over to the defense, right? Don't make errors. Make the plays you need to make.
I'm just thinking, isn't it funny what the perspective of like the solo homer is? Like, if you're as a hitter, or when you're literally just evaluating hitters, you don't really truly care how many solo homers they have unless they literally are not driving in runs at all on the other side of it. So like say if a guy had 20 homers and 30 RBIs, you'd be like, all right, what's going on here? But if he had 20 homers and 70 RBIs, but yet only 2 of his homers had guys on, you wouldn't even care. Wouldn't even be a big thing. And on the other side of it, as people are like, just give up the solo homer. We got a chance. Just don't give up the big ones. Yeah, we act as if like they're like less intimidating that you're only hitting solo homers or something. Isn't that crazy how it goes?
Yeah, unbelievable, dude. And it's like you can't you can't control who's on base.
You really can't. No, you can't. You said it right. You really can't.
Home runs are hard to hit, and so when you hit one, I know people say, "Oh, we know it." You've got to be able to come up clutch with the runs. Of course, you want to hit the 3-run homer and you want to drive guys in, but like this guy's hitting homers, he's hitting homers. But on the other side, if he's going to hit his homer, make sure nobody's on base. You know what I mean? Like, let them hit the solo homers. Defensively, solo homers are amazing. Offensively, you're like, wow, this guy's just hit solo homers. Whatever. He hits a homer. That's important. Just make sure nobody's on base during the weekend. Oh, you're muted.
To your point, Dave Vendura put a good stat in the chat.
Love that.
Stats in the chat.
Stats in the chat.
LSU is the worst in the SEC with hitting with Jesus. We are the worst in the SEC with hitting with runners in scoring position in less than 2 outs. They're good. Before last week, it was at 206 was the average. So I'd imagine it went up a tick, but that is still.
Wait, say that again?
Who gets on their phone when somebody's reading them a stat?
Well, I got another stat. Go ahead.
Okay.
But it wasn't worth it. It wasn't a stat that was worth. Go ahead.
This one or yours?
Mine, that guy.
Okay. LSU is the worst in the SEC hitting with runners in scoring position in less than 2 outs. Before last week, it was at 206 was their average.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, less than 2 outs. That's a very good point because that means guys with second or third with less than 2, where it should be easier RBIs, they're hitting at a 206 clip. And here's the other thing: not only are they hitting at a 206 clip, some of those outs can also be RBIs. I would imagine that those productive outs aren't as high as you would hope in those types of situations.
Those numbers really don't mean shit to me, I'm going to be honest with you, because we're looking at through 8 weeks of the season, those first 5, and then the last 3, those are 2 different teams, right? And I don't know how high those last 3 have been, but I got to imagine it's probably significantly higher than what those first 5 were. And I don't look at them as the same team the way they play. So those numbers don't really mean anything to me.
Right.
Especially if I'm the one that's coaching or I'm the one that's talking to my hitters and I'm part of LSU's team. Hey, those first 5 weeks we played, wipe that out.
No doubt.
This is who we are, and this is what we do here going
forward. No doubt. And I don't know what they did last week. I know they did enough and that's the only thing that matters, right? Like, hey, hitting with runners in scoring position is hard, right? If you got 10 opportunities and you get 3 hits, like that's fine. That means you're hitting 300 in those situations, and that's okay because you're going to drive in guys when you do that. And so I would imagine that they are going to be better at that this weekend. You got something else?
Yeah, it's just what y'all were talking about a little bit, is trying to get to that point where you don't look at it as runners in scoring position, 2 outs, and it became such a bugaboo that it kind of got in your head. Now it feels like, well, they've gotten over the hump a little bit. That's why you were talking about solo homers. That's where they're kind of coming from, is you would end an inning with runners in scoring position, somebody would come up, solo shot, and then you didn't really get to capitalize on the putting the coin in the merry-go-round. You saw it a little bit, like I would even say last week, you get bases loaded, Pearson 2 outs. Like, you're giving yourself chances to score runs that aren't a home run. And so I think, like Jared said, it's gotten better, but it's still something that has reared its ugly head at times where it plays to the stats of whenever they haven't gotten the lead in the first, and 3 games against A&M, they led the 3rd game, and they got their doors blown off, and they came back in the first 2 to win. So I don't know what that means, but it feels like a little bit of a slow start, and you've had your pitching be able to kind of hold you up until the offense figures it out.
Let me tell you a quick this is a stat that was brought up, and it didn't fit in the narrative of what we were talking about. The odds to win a national championship are out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where LSU falls in those odds?
9th?
9th. They have the 9th best odds.
They might not make the tournament
to win the national championship right now, and they're fighting for their postseason lives. That tells me a few things. One, it tells me how talented they are, right, on paper. And it also tells me that, hey, people are paying attention to what happened these last 3 weeks, and now they start to feel like they're putting it together. And I would imagine everything starts to creep up if they win these next 2 series and they make a good little showing in Hoover. Because here's the deal. When you get to Hoover, you're going to be positioned seed-wise against teams that are higher ranked than you, right? Now, if they end up being like the 9th seed in the SEC, I think they're going to be playing the 6th seed, right? So that's going to be a tough one. But after that, you're playing against these teams that don't need the SEC tournament for anything, right? And it's going to kind of fall in that same situation that LSU fell in last year. Yeah, they wanted to win it, but they wanted to make sure their guys got to work before the postseason. So I'll say all this to say that LSU has put themselves in a spot, and that people are starting to recognize it.
I agree. That is crazy if you really think about it. 9th, highest odds, still fighting to get in the field of 64, though. Really think about that. It doesn't make any sense, but if that's where it is, the betting people tell you, don't let the boys get hot.
Don't let them get hot,
it can get rolling.
Don't let them get hot. You know who's hot right now is Paul Skeens. Debut tomorrow, boys. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Y'all be watching? I'll be watching. It's gonna be televised. I would imagine MLB Network's probably gonna have it.
They should have an over. You know what they should have an over under of? How many times the national camera pans to Livy? That's what they need to have an over under of.
Well, MLB already posted it. Said Paul Skeens
tomorrow
and Livy
during the game.
on the way.
How many times are they gonna go to her during the game?
Oh, dude, 1 million. They're not. Nobody's even know who his parents look like. They're gonna go interview her.
When he gets his first K,
how do you feel about your boyfriend being in his debut? Instead of the mom, they're gonna go to Livy Dunn. Tell me what you think, Livy.
She's definitely gonna get an in-game interview.
No doubt. And if Livy, wanted to just add to her likability and add to her brand, she would refuse the interview and make it and put it on the mother. That's what I would do if I was her. That would increase the brand. Say, no, it's not about me. It's about their family.
I think she's throwing out the first pitch.
That would be fucking funny. Yeah. That would be funny.
Gotcha, Skeens.
That would be great. That's the only reason we called you up. We need ticket sales. Livy Dunn autograph session in the concourse during the game.
Skeens get back.
Nobody's watching the game. Everybody's getting autographs from Livy.
You want to know what's crazy? You want to know what I did see after looking at his stats a little while ago? I think he's got 7 appearances this year. You know what his record is on the mound this year?
0-0. Yeah, because he hadn't pitched long enough. Hasn't pitched deep enough in games to get a win.
Yeah. 0-0 in the season.
0-0, like a negative ERA.
I'm saying this to bring it up because it absolutely has nothing to do with Paul Skeens, right? Because if you look at the rest of the numbers says, well, why is he coming out right now? He obviously isn't asking to come out of these games. We've seen that. We know. We've seen him throw 120 plus last year. So that's not a Paul Skeens decision or a Paul Skeens situation. That's how the Pirates have chose to go about developing him and bringing him along.
Right. 100%. And look, to the Pirates, I'm not going to give them – I don't want to say credit, but I think if I'm in the Pirates' mind, right, if I'm thinking about why they did this, there's obviously the financial side. Put that on the other side. Like that's been talked about. I don't think that they want to have a situation like the Nationals had with Strasburg, right? When Strasburg came up, he was on an innings limit. They called him up early, and he starts pitching, and they end up making a run, and they end up being right there at the end of the year, and he wasn't able to – they shut him down going into the postseason. So I think that I'm not saying the Pirates are going to make the playoffs, but if they've called him up now, they've limited his innings, and all of a sudden he's kind of on the normal schedule moving forward, and all of a sudden he jump starts and sparks this team, and they end up making this run and make the postseason, they're going to have him available in the postseason as far as his innings limits go, because he is on an innings limit. He's never thrown 200 innings. He's never thrown 150 innings in his life, and like as a starter, if you're going to be a bona fide ace in the big leagues, they want you to throw 200 plus innings a year. So that's part of it. Like I said, I'm excited for his debut. I think that what's the line? 6.5.
6.5. As
far as over/under strikeouts. I just feel, knowing him, I feel like he's gonna have like this like Strasburg type debut, where he strikes out 10, 11, 12 guys in his debut, and they're like, oh my God, this is the guy everybody's been waiting for. And to be honest with you, Major League Baseball needs that. Major League Baseball absolutely needs something like that to happen because they haven't had any good publicity at all.
So you're saying double-digit strikeouts?
No. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think it's over 6.5, but I wouldn't be shocked if he had a Strasburg-type debut. Strasburg's debut was like electric.
What would you buy it at? What's the highest you would feel comfortable buying it at?
9.
You were a betting man.
9.
So then you are saying it should be 10 plus.
No, I said I'm not saying like what would I buy?
What? Set it at 8.5.
Yeah, I'll set it at 8.5.
Okay.
I think he's gonna get I think 9 is a realistic number for him. He goes 5 innings, strikes out 9. I mean, the numbers of guys throwing 100 plus and guys having success are not very high, and that's all he's doing right now. And so they haven't seen him, and so he's going to have an opportunity to go and dominate a game because he's got that kind of stuff.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm only laughing and bringing this up because it literally just goes right into what we're talking about, saying the stars. Every time Mikey sees it, the stars are going to star. And my only question is how long is he going to go? I think if he throws 5 plus, I think he's striking out 10. I really do. I just don't know that he's going to. I haven't literally gone back to see, has it been like 3 and a third, 3 2/3? Has it been 4? Like where have these starts been? Because obviously he hasn't gone and had any quality starts yet. Yeah, so my only question of the entire outing is how long is he going to go? But I do think it's long enough to be over 6. That 6.5 they put.
So I'm looking at Strasburg's.
I have it right here if you haven't found it.
I have it, but I just didn't have how many innings did he throw?
7.
So Strasburg threw 7 innings, struck out 14
against the Pirates.
In his debut.
I'd be shocked if he went 7. I really would.
I would be too. Now, here's the other part of it: is they're playing the Cubs. The Cubs are a better team. They have. Are they still playing well?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're playing good baseball.
They got a good team. Yeah.
So
they got a good ball club.
It's going to be a challenging first start for him, but like watching him pitch last year when the adrenaline was up and seeing how his stuff just got better with that, like I can't imagine what the adrenaline's like for him right now. I mean, I can't imagine, right? But like I was never on the mound when it happened to me, so it's like I know what I felt like when I couldn't feel my legs hitting. Pitching, I feel like he's going to throw 110 miles an hour, it feels like. Obviously he's not going to, but like he's going to sit 102 probably his first 2 innings.
Yeah, dude, I was last year we basically said we could see him anywhere between a number 3 and a number 5 starter pretty much on any team last year, right? And this is when he wasn't throwing I feel like he's added to the repertoire. I feel like he's only added more command. I feel like he's only added the ability to throw what he wants, when he wants, and it's more than just the 3. And then late in the season, they got the 4. Now it seems like he got 5 that he can kind of dip and dive and put in there whenever he wants. I feel like he's only added to it. So, yeah, right now you put him in there, and I don't see how he's any worse than somebody's 3 or number 4 starter. And that's just me being honest about it off of not much experience and he hasn't been asked to go deep into professional games yet. So that's my only thing. Bro, you add those 2 things in there, and he's as front line comes, and you don't usually see that with a guy that throws that hard, with a guy that's that big, with a guy that's that long, and the guy, honestly, that's that young as well. It's so hard to put all of those things into one person and then basically watch him go out there from the jump, hit the ground running. It's like literally he got on a treadmill that's already running at 18 miles an hour, and he just got on a run and didn't even stumble, just kept going.
And honestly, there's not very many guys that are like that, but those guys, when you like everything you just said, when it's all packaged in one guy, you get guys like Justin Verlander and guys like Garrett Cole and guys who, hey, it's just gonna plug you in. You're gonna be just like what you have always been, right? There's been really no adjustment period for you because you're that good. That's what happens when you combine all of those guys into one. Mark Pryor for a second, right? Like,
Rest in peace.
That's
his elbow.
I was gonna say, geez, dude, he's not dead. He's actually the pitching coach somewhere, isn't he?
USC.
Yep, at USC. Do you have Lloyd the last Skeens' last 3 outings?
I could find it for you.
How many innings he went?
I would start with dominant, and dominant.
Well, dominant for sure, but how long has he gone? I think his last outing was 4 1/3. I think.
And that's what I think is going to be interesting.
Well, that's why, and I wonder if they give pitches, because I think that's why. Hey, your last inning went 4 1/3. Okay, now your next outing, let's say you went 4 1/3 with 75, 80 pitches. Okay, now your next outing, we feel like we've built you up enough to go 5, 6 innings and throw, 90 to 100 pitches. I don't think they're going to let him get to that high, but if he went 4 1/3, I would imagine his pitch count was probably around 70, 75.
So he's thrown 7 games.
Yep.
27 innings pitched.
Right, I know that. But
Okay.
What's the last 3 starts?
You got to pay premium for that.
Innings-wise.
So.
Oh, okay, here we go. So that would be on May 5th, 4 1/3, and then April. Was that all of April? Yeah, all of April. He went 4 innings. 6 innings is his longest start.
Okay, so he did get to 6. He did get through 5 one time. Right?
Yeah.
What start was that?
That was April 30th.
Okay.
Buffalo.
There you go. So
7 strikeouts.
how many?
7.
So his 6 innings and 7 strikeouts. Wow.
1 walk.
Probably a lot of early contact. That pitch count was really low.
No doubt. Hey, I'm not going to let you get me, but I'm also not probably going to get a hit off you, but I'm not going to let you strike me out. You go 0 for 3 off of Paul Skeens with no strikeouts, you feel good about yourself. Especially coming up to the minor leagues. But that's 6 innings and then 4 1/3 in his last start, right? So he's definitely built up enough. I think that he's going to have probably a pitch count of max 100. Max.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to watch it.
You have to, if you're Pittsburgh, you have to kind of worry about getting caught up in what happened with Strasburg. If it's that elite and that electric in the game, Strasburg wasn't supposed to go 7 that game, but and it became he had a no-hitter going into the 6th, and they're like, "We'll put him back out there." He's like, "We're trying to protect."
Did you watch it? I watched his debut. It was unbelievable.
Of course, it was awesome.
Yeah,
and that's what I was hoping they would do, something like that for Skeens, where it was I guess MLB Network counts now, but it was on TV, and they got caught up.
Have they not announced that? Have they not said it was gonna be on TV?
I don't know.
I'm gonna find it. Go, keep talking.
But they got caught up in everything that Strasburg was doing, striking out, nearly two people an inning. Like, it was electric. The crowd was there. There was a sellout. All of those things are still in play for Skeens, and they have to make a decision. I know I know that everybody's loving what you're seeing right now, but if it gets to the 5th and he's at 100 pitches, you're gonna have to pull him. I would imagine.
No doubt.
But if he's got no hits and 10 strikeouts, I don't want to walk up there.
Yeah, but you've got to protect the kid at that point, right? Of hey, if he's got 100 pitches, even with a no-hitter in the 5th, it's not like he's got a no-hitter in the 8th with 100 pitches. You say, okay, let's see if we can stretch out an inning. what's going from 5 to 6. Now maybe they let him throw a couple more to get through the 5th. Maybe if they're winning, to hopefully get his first win.
But that's what happened with Strasburg. It's like, let's get through 5. Well, there's no hits. Like, oh, let's get him out there for the 6th, and they mowed him down again. It's like, oh, we'll put him out in the 7th, and we'd have to pull you.
Damn. So there's like no changing games or changing TV schedules in MLB, huh?
What is that called whenever you
flexing?
Flexing. Oh,
so, because I'm looking at it, it's just televised regionally.
That's what I'm saying. They'll put it on.
Well, here you go.
You would hope so.
MLB.TV. MLB.TV is celebrating #Mother's Day all weekend long with a free preview from May 10th to 12th. So from today, Saturday, and Sunday, you get free MLB TV preview. So they do have it. Anybody can watch them.
What fucking holiday can we call it so we don't look like a bunch of rubes?
Anybody can watch it.
That is master marketing by
you like that?
That's good.
That's good.
I like that. I like that move.
I mean, they had to do something. If they're not going to get national TV, you have to do it to where anybody that wants to watch it can watch it.
Yeah, or you could just been like, hey, we all know Paul Skeens is throwing. Do y'all want to watch the game?
What?
They could have just given it away for the
game.
Look, come up with a reason.
I would imagine MLB Network's going to look in on it. Like, I would imagine MLB Network's going to have, I mean, it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, they are going to have that game 3 o'clock on a Saturday. You ain't got nothing. You're playing fucking Field of Dreams or something on MLB Network at that point on Saturday. So, I would imagine they're going to have that game.
For the love of the game?
Yeah, you're playing a movie. You're playing Major League 2.
Major League 3 back to the minors.
Major League 3 back to, or Major League 2 back to the minors. No, Major League 3 is back to the minors. No? Yes, that's right.
Underrated.
I'm looking at it, and they don't show anything about TV times. So, but MLB TV, big move by them. Big move.
It's crazy that we even have to ask this much.
In other news, staying on the light-hearted deal, Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels had a $10,000 bet that they put on who's going to win Rookie of the Year. Malik Neighbors announced today that he has called off the $10,000 Rookie of the Year bet with Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah, smart.
Yeah, practice with Daniel Jones. And they said, I don't know if I'm going to get it. But I think it was more about let's not be
gambling.
Yes. With everything that's been happening recently in the gambling world, let's not make that a thing. You can do it privately.
Which it still will be.
Which is probably still has the bet privately.
Yeah.
Or
I would imagine the bet's probably still on privately, but can't have that thing coming down to the end of it next year and it's them too and people are wondering like.
Yeah. And, or it really is, he had a practice with Daniel Jones and realized,
I forgot. I didn't know. I've been talking shit about this man, and this is why.
Hey, listen, it's hard as a rookie. It's not all about talent. And I think you learned that whenever Dan Orlovsky and Chase Daniel are showing the playbook that the rookies have to learn, all the way from how to huddle, all the way from the plays, right? So Dan Orlovsky shows this big-ass playbook.
Snap count.
To snap count, right? Everything. So Dan Orlovsky shows this big-ass playbook, and it's like the general stuff that everybody on the team needs, like rules, how you line up, snap count, blah, 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 right? And then Chase Daniel takes his rookie playbook, or his playbook, and starts to kind of dissect the plays. Hey, that was the macro version. This is the micro. Not only do you have to learn all of that, but this is what you have to learn in every play. And he goes through it, and it's wild. So I think people looked at it like, well, obviously I know it's hard, but I don't think people realize how complicated and how smart these guys actually are to be able to retain all of that. And it's more than just talent. You gotta be able to, because listen, if you don't know where the hell you're supposed to be or what's happening, you play way slower than you do when you know.
And you may not really have to do 2+2 or know like the Pythagorean theorem or know who was the president in 1952, but there is a very high level of brain power and understanding you need to have to be able to know a playbook and be able to go through it in the NFL playbook.
Oh yeah,
just that simple.
Oh yeah, understand the concept. Like, it's a wild.
Yeah, for all the people that were out there with the dumb jock take, it's like, will you come do this and I'll do your job and see how bad I am at it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot to to consume there.
On Twitter, somebody's like, no wonder Johnny
It's
Manziel never
a lot
picked up
more
the
than
playbook.
I would imagine it's a whole lot more than the normal onboarding process to so many American jobs.
Yeah. Yep.
God. Here's your packet for work. Like, oh, no. That was that's not what they told me.
Jay, did you see the official, unofficial cover of the college football video game?
I did.
What do you think about it?
I'm surprised at the people that's on it. I did.
I'm not so much surprised at yours and Travis Hunter, but I'm surprised that they didn't put Shador Sanders on there.
He's getting his own cover, I heard.
Oh, is he?
I think so. But that could have just been a rumor. It's all speculation.
How is he getting his own cover?
Exactly. It's all speculation, but that was one of the leaks from these accounts that are coming out. It's like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
This is one of the special covers.
They'd be really smart. They would. I wonder if there is going to be maybe like a regional or like.
Yeah, right.
10 schools like specific of like, hey, and you put like either their couple players or their top player or something like that, or the top players in this region or the top players in this conference.
Yeah, like, hey,
like
South region, Jaden Daniels on it. He won the Heisman, right? So like, is wild. Shouldn't he be on it?
Like if they chose to put everybody. What if you went with the SEC and then now you just chose, those players of the SEC? I think a lot of people in the South would probably buy that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Jane Daniels is on the cover any former athletes because now you can pay the college kids to actually be on the cover.
Right.
That's a good point. It's going to be current athletes. You're right. So
I
why
would
pay them and not take
that price tag might be a whole lot higher if you put it the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If this is the game. Good graphics.
Look at that.
I know it's probably from a teaser trailer. That's not what it's going to look like, but they are hyping the shit out of this game up. Like,
I mean, look at
you
that.
don't put this shit out if it doesn't look like this.
That looks real.
Yeah. Well, you know how they have like the player runouts in the tunnels that are like part of the game, but it's not what the game looks like.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
probably what this is.
No doubt. Listen, it's
But
been
people
how many
are
years?
freaking out.
How many years?
06?
11?
11?
No, 14. I think was the last one.
Yeah, I think 14 was the last
Bernard
one.
Robinson was on the cover.
11 years since they've had it. I mean, it's gonna make me go buy a PlayStation just to play it.
Yeah, so many people with a PS2 or PS3 or Xbox 360 be like, we've been holding down the fort for so long, and now when the new one comes out, nothing. Like, everybody that has an Xbox 360 has the cover of NCAA.
Hey.
Crickets. Don't have to upgrade.
No. I'm looking at this video on Twitter. Charlie Condon, right? 34th homer, broke the BB Core record. And me and Laura, I don't think they are BB Core, but these bats can't be considered like these bats are hotter than the bats that were used in the 2009, 2008, those seasons, right? Like these are ridiculous. Now,
I think it's the bat and ball combo, yeah.
No doubt. And not discrediting him because what he's doing regardless is like stupid.
That's crazy.
We talked about how impressive it was earlier in the year that Jack Caglione had 9 straight games with a home run. We're like, damn, that's wild. Charlie Condon is currently has a streak of 8 straight games with a home run. He has 34 homers, hitting like 440 or something. Almost 450. I don't know exactly his average, but like he's gonna hit 40. Right?
I mean, I think that team is gonna have to play. So like Caglione stopped, I think, at 9 straight games, right? I don't even know what the record is, but like the law of big numbers says he's probably not gonna hit a homer in like 15 straight games. So my guess is after that happens, there's gonna be maybe somewhat of a dip. Probably won't just. And I'm not saying he won't be getting hit. Just somewhat of a dip.
No doubt, for sure.
I think that team probably needs to play into a super regional, possibly into the College World Series for him to hit 40 plus. That's just my.
I agree because they're gonna stop pitching to him, right? Like I'm surprised they haven't stopped pitching to him yet.
Even if they don't stop pitching to him, like I said, it's been 8 straight games. They only got 3. They got 2 more this weekend. They got 3 next weekend. That's 5 more games. If they play, 2-3 games in the SEC tournament, now you're looking at 5. You're looking at 8 games, right? So
and then you got the regional.
If he's done 8 straight, that means if he keeps going, that means he's going to have to not hit maybe 1 in 2 games and then do it again. I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't even think they have to stop pitching to him. I just think they got to start playing because the law number says he's not going to hit homers in 15 straight games. The law number says it's probably not going to be 1 without and then 8 more straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they're going to be in the postseason, right? So they're probably going to host a regional. So if they finish off this weekend strong and they finish off the next week strong, I mean they're 14-11 in conference. They're going to end up hosting a regional, right? So you have 5 regular season games left. You have, let's say they have 3 SEC. Let's say they play 4 in the SEC tournament. That's 9. Then you got at least 3 games at home. That's 12. But, yeah, to your point, he's 6 away from 40. So he's going to have to hit 6 home runs in 12 games, which is a crazy streak in itself, right? So it's going to be tough, but I didn't think that there was anybody that's going to have a chance to get to 40.
Just that alone is tough because now we're saying – You can't go 12 because now you would have to, unless you're saying that he's going to hit them in straight games. So now you're saying, all right, well, now it's cut off today. So now that's 11 games where he doesn't have a homer. And now he's got to hit 6 in 11 games after coming off of 8 straight.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that's happening. That's why I say he's got to get probably into the Supers, possibly even the College World Series from 40.
Right. It's wild just to even be in that conversation of maybe hitting 40. I didn't think that was ever going to happen again.
But you do look at him right now, and you're like, it's like must-see TV for college ball right now, honestly. You want to see what on earth is he going to do.
He's hitting 459. 459.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
He got walked last night, bases empty, 2 outs. Intentionally walked.
What was the fun? Did they win last night?
That's the funny thing about Georgia baseball.
Pretty sure
they did. They're winning. They're winning.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's secondary almost.
Yeah. And he hit the homer last night in the 2nd inning too, so it wasn't even like, hey, game starts, he's right back at it. Bro.
Oh, they won 14-10 yesterday.
14-10.
They won 14-10 yesterday.
The kid that caught the home run ball gave it back to Condon, and he got a signed ball and a picture.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, they're kids. They're college
is
kids.
the BB Core thing like?
Still, yeah, I know. I would be mad too.
Y'all
didn't get to play with those bats.
No. I don't care about that. I'm just saying, like, is breaking the BB Core record like?
I'm more worried about just the actual record.
Like, yeah, me too.
What he's doing.
Yeah. But I think this is baseball, right? You separate everything into eras. There's the dead ball era, the live ball era, the steroid
not the records.
Era.
Not the records.
I don't see. What do you mean not the records? They're all asterisk.
I mean, he's second. He's second right now in SEC history in a season ever, right? Obviously, Brandon Larson was first. He's second. Gordon Beckham, I think, is third. Guess who's 4, which I did not realize he was 4.
Who? Rafe.
No, homers.
Oh, homers. I thought you said hits. I thought you said hits.
No. Homers in an SEC season. Guess who's 4th right now?
Caglione.
Kent Mathis.
Actually, I said it wrong. So it is Larson, then it's Condon, then it's Caglione, not Gordon Beckham. But then guess who's 4th? That's a good guess, though. No.
Oh, yeah, I guess Ken only had 28. Laporta?
No. Don't leave Baton Rouge.
Cressy. Furnace.
Yeah. Shout out to Brad. Cressy 4, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah,
what a career.
Those late 90s teams are littered all over
the record books.
Like, oh, that's Gorilla Ball.
It's crazy. So that's what's crazy to me. He's top 5 in SEC history ever, and still his most famous and most memorable moment is a jam job single that won one of the World Series.
Terrio, get on in there.
No doubt. The all-time leader in hit. Who's the all-time leader in hits?
I don't know that. Don't know that question. You got me.
And Larson hit 40, right? Or 41?
I think he hit 40 in conference.
I think he hit 40 because
Yeah.
I think Lance Berkman hit 41. I believe that same
I think it's
year.
40. I think it's 40. I think it's Condon with 34. I think it's Caglione with 33. And I think it's Presley with 30 or maybe 31, I believe.
Wow. Wild. Crazy. All right. What do you think is going to happen this weekend? Give y'all's predictions.
Jared?
Anybody?
I go Friday, Saturday, win again. With an exciting sweep on Sunday.
I'm glad you said it. Now I don't have to say it.
I would go.
Okay, well, then follow up on that. Who starts on Sunday?
Make the play
I know
work.
who's not starting. I can tell you that.
Who?
Coleman?
Cade. I think Griffin. I think Ackenhausen is going to start again.
Okay.
But that's also, you may end up needing him before it, so.
I know. Don't save your bullets.
All right, what you got?
I'm not. I just said it. I'm not. I just said it.
I had 2 out of 3, but wins on Friday and Sunday.
Wow.
I think it's going to shake out in a weird way, and LSU maybe gets caught with the Holman game where it's a lot of momentum from one side. Maybe he overpitches himself. I know he likes the moment, but I'm interested to see how that reaction can go, and if it goes the opposite way where it's not really going his way, and then Alabama has an opportunity to pile on regardless of Holman's ability. It could just be one of those games. It could also go the other way, which I expect in my heart of hearts, but for the sake of the show, I'm going to go
You negative Nancy.
LSU wins game 1, loses game 2 in a slaughter, and then game 3 they have some pitching left over and put it together.
Okay. I want to say sweep, like I really do, but deep down, like I just feel like I don't.
You don't even want them to sweep.
If they sweep, I'd be pumped, obviously. But deep down, if I had to go, like, what am I really feeling? I think a 2 out of 3, and I think the first 2 games, and I think the third game is going to be played well, but I think Alabama will sneak it out. Like, it's not going to be like it was last weekend, where it's kind of just like this blowout. I think it's a very well played game, and it's a game that they lose, but it's not one of those ones where you're like, damn, okay. You know, we got some things to iron out. I think it's just one of those where Alabama, they're a good team. They ended up winning the game. But 2 out of 3, I think both starters have really good games. I think they both go 6 innings plus. 6 innings at least. Let's go that way. I don't know how much more above 6 they're going to throw, but I think they both go 6. Pick the clicks.
He's
Anybody?
thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Let me think. I'm going around the horn right now. Give me a think.
You got one?
Pick to click this weekend.
Well, we all think so. I don't know either.
I got Larson.
Nice.
And kid stays hot. Love his demeanor. I love where he's at right now. I love his thinking on how he goes about it. I think he stays hot and he allows the big dogs in the middle to kind of drive him in and do their thing. I'm going with Larson.
Let me get Braswell. Left-handed
Whoa.
pitching. Yeah, he
hasn't hit one in a long time.
He's still seeing it well. Like it's not it's not like the wow power or anything like that.
But plus 10,000.
Yeah, but he's hitting 311 right now. He's obviously getting strikes and somebody that they think they can pitch to. Let a lefty leave one up to him and see what happens.
All right. I like Milam. Milam coming off a good weekend, a lot of hits. Right, seeing a lot of pitches. He didn't drive one out, but he's driven a few out over the last month. I think, when you start feeling good about getting hits, the next thing to come after that is a little bit of the juice. I think he pops one out this weekend.
What?
It'll probably be. He usually does that from the left side.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it comes from. I just think he's gonna pop it out, no doubt.
All right, so Larson.
He got Larson. I got Milam. You got
Braswell.
Which that's a wild pick.
Off the board.
It's a wild pick. That's not even on the. You had to type in other at the bottom right there.
I had to go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and go to the ballpark, place a bet.
There's probably a couple of bench guys that would have more odds than he would to hit a homer on the weekend.
I'd love to see Travinsky do it.
You see what I'm saying? Like I think like Jake Brown, who hadn't started a lot, I think he'd probably have higher odds at the homer. Then
I don't even want him to hit a homer because I like the way he's swinging it right now. But if you leave one,
okay, I like it. It'll be interesting. LSU plays tonight at 6, so not on national TV. You gotta go to SC Network Plus or our friend at YouTube. He does a great job.
Great
for
job.
For LSU fans out there. But we'll be watching. Jay will be
Pada.
watching in the nice, beautiful SEC Network studios.
Yeah.
what time-
No show tonight, though, right?
Yeah, no show tonight. SEC softball is taking precedent. Big rainout yesterday out over there in Auburn, so they will be filling up the TV screen tonight as they have to get all those games played and all those rescheduled games played. So we'll be watching baseball from the studio as the boys just dissecting it ourselves.
No doubt. Love that.
We'll be
Love
back
that.
tomorrow.
Speaking of
I was about to say.
LSU softball upset number 1 Tennessee. They're making a
Dude.
they're making a run right now. Big first game, 14-inning game, then upset number 1 team. They're making a little run. Making a nice little postseason run right here.
Must have felt like good Starbucks.
That's it. All right, we'll be back live in studio. What?
LSU,
segments.
Oh, well, no, we obviously. But LSU softball does play today at 3 against Missouri,
There you
I
go.
believe. So,
And
right
Missouri
after this-
beat them. Did they not? I believe.
I
I'm
don't
asking
remember
you
the
too much.
losses. Only remember the wins.
I'm asking you too much. Let's get to the Seggies.
Oh, yes, segment.
Mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends at Doe's Eat Place.
This is a great, proud of this. I'm glad this happened. But mistake of the day brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. There was a phone that went off during an interview session after the game with Luka.
And the curtain calls has to be Luka's reaction.
Yeah. But yeah, there's many theories as to who did this, how this happened. Is it a prank? I don't think so. But I'll play the clip so y'all can hear the hits.
Just our energy. Shows what we are. 21 shots. We're all shots. Just our share of the ball, which is great. Why do
What a moment. And I was thinking, just not really thinking, but like my first thought was, oh, somebody, kind of like a Darryl Strawberry situation here where found somebody in the stands and maybe they, hey, let me go back to the janitorial closet or whatever. But then Lloyd was like, well, they wouldn't have picked that up on the mics. So Lloyd's thought was what?
Oh, I think this is more likely than not. Somebody was
bored during the game or something.
Well, the hub is illegal in Texas, so they're playing an away game. Like, this is my time to get a couple off. So I got it saved in my phone. He doesn't realize that when he takes his headphones out, the Bluetooth will still play. Microphones are around, and he was halfway through one and then thought he should ask a question or somebody around him should ask a question. And it's the ultimate.
So you're saying this guy's trying to, take care of the business in front of everybody?
No, I'm saying he was probably looking at it maybe in the press box.
In front of everybody?
Or the bathroom. Or
Maybe
getting himself primed, or it's from last
It was
night.
obviously very fresh on the phone still.
Yeah, it could have been a last night situation.
Yeah, it was too prominent. You could hear it too well for it to be like
actually
in a different room.
Yes.
Behind the whatever. So
it was somebody in there with the that was queued up on the phone, and everybody knows who it is except for us. But it's like the kid in class that.
Does everybody know who it is? It's got to come out. Someone's got to let them know. Huh?
I don't know if you honor amongst thieves.
You're right.
You don't want it to happen to me. You don't want.
Boy,
that
guy would be crushed if it came out.
Yeah, I mean he's crushed right now.
Oh, he's cooked if it came out.
No, the
Boy, he's crushed now
text,
because like everybody knows now.
He's
the media
the porn guy.
and the media, yeah, but at least the public doesn't know. Wow, that would be ballsy.
Never seen anything like that before. I'm stumped. I'm be honest. I've never seen anything like that.
Twitter's nice, right? They're not gonna wear people out at all.
No, they're gonna let this one slide. Yeah, it's like the kid in class that forgot he was looking at porn, and then he opens up his laptop and
boom,
like, oh, never mind, I gotta go. Forgot everything. Yeah.
Oops.
That's crazy, man.
And you look around like nobody.
Who did that?
You just like, and then everybody's looking at it like not Ned. Did you see that?
Yeah, big porn guy.
That's crazy.
Crazy. That's a great mistake of the day.
It was. It's an all-timer.
Yep. Curtain call brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
I have
Me.
and
me. What we got?
I got a curtain call to Jaden Daniels and the punter Tressway, who has struck a deal for him to be able to get number 5. As we all know, Jaden Daniels goes to the Commanders. Tressway, which is his full name. It's just Tress Space Way. Went to Oklahoma. Obviously, Daniels at LSU, Tressway at Oklahoma. Now that they're both in the SEC, LSU plays Oklahoma in Death Valley. In order to get the jersey, Tressway was like, give me some tickets to the LSU-Oklahoma game this year, and you got it. Done deal, no money, no nothing, just tickets, because I want you to make it like we're going to do it the right way. And he was like, dude, not a problem. Boom, bang, jersey on. So that's how Jade Daniels got 5. A new familial opponent with Oklahoma, but now an SEC rival.
That's it. Good curtain call.
Yeah.
Free number. Come to the best college football venue in the world. Good one. Jay, you got one?
I do not have one. I'm going to be honest with you, boys. It's like looking for – I don't have one.
All right, so I just found this, and this has nothing to do with sports. I like seeing stuff that, like, is kind of crazy and, like, creative. So I'm putting it in there right now, Lloyd. My curtain call is to this guy operating this piece of machine and how he was creative enough to maneuver this situation. And, look, maybe this is something that's common in these jobs. I don't think that's the case. What he has done, the creativity of trying to get over this obstacle is pretty outrageous. Is it not?
This is insane.
Yeah. So obviously he's got a cross. So he backs out, but he uses the equipment to raise his thing in the
he's
front.
got the pistons going.
Yep, so he can get it across. And now he's like, okay, now how do I get this, how to make this happen? Puts the front of it down. Raises himself up off of the ground, pushes himself back to cross that.
Was that worth it?
I bet you, because it's probably going all the way down. So to get it, they probably have to go all the way around to try to get it. And have to put it up on equipment. It'd probably be a pain in the ass. That's pretty impressive. Pretty
tractors
creative.
are way more expensive than you think.
No doubt. I mean, that's not the first time he's ever done that. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty creative.
This is crazy.
Look at that. And people, listen, I'm
My
not.
ass go all the way around. I can tell you that.
You know, he's the one guy there that's been there forever, and they're like looking at this problem like, dude, how can we get this crowd? Get out the way.
Yeah, let me show you.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, boys.
I mean, he got up, tried to push himself out. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Nice find.
You saw that? You like that?
Yeah. There's also
Respect.
There's a big golf fight going on Twitter between, which are my favorite, like, the pedestrian golfers, and it's like 4.5 minutes long, so I can't wait to watch it.
Jay, what you got on this? Oh yeah, I did see that.
It's long.
Jay, what do you got on this beef between Kendrick and Drake?
Yeah, I got the lowdown from Mikey.
I had to explain it to Lloyd. Listen, I didn't know, and then there's a bunch. Listen, here's the crazy thing is some of those diss tracks are gonna end up being like
bangers.
Yeah, well, they are bangers. I mean, they're gonna end up being, people are gonna end up listening, like end up like being, damn, this is one of their better songs. Wild.
I don't really love things like this because
me either.
I feel like fans of the other side always are way too biased and not realistic about how politics. You want either one. I don't really like that. Like either we're gonna call this thing down the middle and say I don't care who you're a fan of, but who won it, and you don't really kind of get that in these, so it's kind of hard to even enjoy these. And then also like if you're gonna throw out a bunch of lies over it, like just crazy, like I never really understood like, hey, like if I'm gonna talk shit about somebody and I'm gonna make it funny around something that's actually true. So if you are in fact not telling the truth about someone, I don't care how clever you were in writing it and putting it together. To me, it's just like, okay, but that don't really have don't hold anything. Right. So like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of that going on too. I'm just kind of like, whatever, bro. Like it's pretty stupid, I guess.
Yeah, they some good songs.
They just need to go ahead and kiss and get it over with. I mean,
J. Cole did the right move. Hey, bro, y'all handle this. I'm out on this.
I don't know.
Ain't no beef here for me. I'm gonna do my thing.
It's just a little, some of your, what is the saying? Like, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. But then it turns into like the people you hate the most. You see a lot in yourself. Well, it feels like these two are kindred spirits.
And there's a rumor out right now saying that I don't know if it's much of a rumor, but the rumor is basically that Kendrick's about to come out with an album. So it seems pretty calculated to me that you would mention him the way you did in a song on Future's album, and then now you're about to come out with an album. Just go ahead, let me keep growing my numbers off of living on you, basically. So to me, that part of this in there too as well. If he actually does come out with an album pretty soon.
I think they're just protecting Diddy. Let's change the subject to something else.
And then no one still knows what's going on with Diddy. We haven't even heard a word from him yet.
Yeah, it's been about this 8-part love fest that's a beef. Where's Diddy?
Unbelievable.
Oh, you know, part
they
of the
even
reason,
call it Michael Jackson team.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why we're probably not going to be able to watch baseball. MLB broadcasts have been disrupted from front office sports. Just add to the Major League Baseball just can't get out of their own way. MLB broadcasts have been disrupted because of the ongoing dispute between Bally Sports parent DSG and Comcast.
Yes, there are people.
Comcast says DSG has declined multiple offers, while DSG is saying Comcast isn't willing to engage in negotiations.
Yeah, they had people in the Braves game at the game that couldn't watch the game on TV and at the TVs. Like it's like this event is blacked out in your area. Like we're in the area.
Yeah, like I'm actually
Here.
I couldn't be more in the area.
Yeah,
I couldn't be closer to where the thing's happening.
so people in the suites are just no TV, blacked out.
Wow,
That's crazy.
crazy professional sport. Man,
Everybody
nuts.
else has it figured out.
Yeah. Major League Baseball's got to figure some stuff out, but hopefully they do. All right, that's all we got for you today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Jay, enjoy beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Eat some of the good food. Have you gone to the regular spots that we used to frequent?
Last trip, yeah. I just kind of went to Chick-fil-A today. Kept it easy, man.
Where'd you go last night?
I actually ate here last night there's a rooftop sushi bar called Hestia in Valentine that is fire.
Wow.
I ate here last night. It's good. It's good.
There you go.
God.
Enjoy the Queen City. Lloyd, enjoy your weekend. You got anything planned?
No, I think I'm finally done with the plans.
Nice. That's 2 weekends in a row.
I know. I'm done. No, I had the wedding last weekend.
The weekend before that, you had nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
So it feels like
almost
I don't
there.
have anything to even get myself
Wow.
in trouble.
You're almost
Worldwide Lloyd taking a break, huh?
I know.
No
I
doubt.
almost, dude. I thought I was having a.
Welcome to our life.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have a kidney stone. I was in terrible pain, but it turns out I was massively dehydrated. No stones.
Oh,
Just
I thought you were saying constipated or something. I was about to say what?
I'm still in pain over here.
That'll do it too.
Turns out there's not a whole lot of hydratable qualities in whiskey, tequila,
No, not good for you.
vodka.
I did not know that.
I tried them all to get me hydrated.
Gin. Ugh.
I love gin.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Of course, you would love gin.
A little hot gin.
That's sake.
That's wine. Sake is wine.
I know, but gin. There's hot gin.
Yeah, you just don't put it over ice. Drink it.
Oh, I
neat.
thought you meant like actual, like,
no.
like sake, like warmed.
No, we had to do that in pledgeship. It was hot tequila.
So
shots.
room temp.
Yeah, no, these were in the microwave.
Yes, sir.
Oof.
No, sir.
Gross. No, thank you. All right, enjoy y'all's weekend. We appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you can't watch us and you like listening to us, like and subscribe anyway. But then we are anywhere you get your pods. We'll be back live in studio from 6 to 8 p.m. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.
Shout out Big Baby.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Choking the chicken.
Big Baby, like, laughing, making jokes about going to prison for 3 years.
3 years.
3.5.
It's white collar crime, dude. It'll be fine.
He said he's going to lose so much. He said he's going to be jacked.
Only way you can stop me from eating a hamburger is put me in jail. So God must have said.
What a wild person he is. Last I heard, he was in the videoing porn
industry.
Yeah, videoing. Like he's actually a video man.
Oh.
In the porn industry.
Well, we'll see y'all later.
The last thing.